Mary treasured these words and pondered them in her heart. Mary has had a lot to think about for many months now, ever since an angel, a messenger from the God she worshiped, came to her to tell her that she was going to have a baby and that it was no ordinary baby, but holy, born of God's Holy Spirit. Ever since then, surely she has been pondering, what is it that is being brought to birth by me, and how? And why me? In some ways, this story is hard for us to relate to. It's so full of miracles, not the miracle of every birth, but supernatural occurrences, predictions that come true as if by magic. 1,800 years after Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John told the story of Jesus' life in the four Gospels, the Unitarian sympathizer Thomas Jefferson would retell it without any of that. In Jefferson's Bible, which you can still get, it is a book he literally cut and pasted from the Gospels to fit his beliefs. This was while he was president. I just want to imagine for a moment any president today doing such a thing. Well, in Jefferson's Bible, Jesus was born, he taught, and he died. No miracles, no singing angels, just a human baby, and the miracle that is a baby being born. That apparently was meaningful enough to Jefferson. And we don't have to believe in the moving star or the angels or the messenger from God to connect our own lives to this story. The story which, at its core, is as common as the ground below us. Someone is expecting a child. He is born. She ponders what he will become. It happens all over the world, every day, many times each second, in fact. We don't have to have given birth or be parents or ever intend to become parents to recognize ourselves in this story. We are all, every one of us, of whatever age and situation in life, like Mary in one key respect. Something waits to be born through us. Something beyond us, beyond our understanding, beautiful, complete unto itself, and yet dependent upon us. It might be a dream, a friendship, a work of art, a political movement, an idea, an act of love, a social reform, a new way of being, a new world, something larger than ourselves and yet needing us in order to come to life. And whether it will be born depends on whether we give ourselves over to its birth. The actual young woman of first century Roman-occupied Palestine named Mary could not have known what her baby's life would be like. But Luke wrote with the wisdom of hindsight, and he knew. Her child, Jesus, would grow up to be a rabbi whose probing questions got right to the heart of what their religion was about. He would be a teacher who told stories to get his ideas across to his students, stories that nudged them to live with radical kindness and daring boldness. He would befriend strangers, people who were foreign, the desperately poor, the feared, those cast out from society. And he would tell his followers that they were also called to befriend all of these people. He would contradict the powerful people of his time and refuse to back down even when he knew it could cost him his life. So Luke, who knew all this, wrote a beautiful song for Mary to sing, one in which she envisioned that her baby would not only be special to her, as babies are to their parents, but would help change the world by turning everything on its head. God's way, she sang, in the words that Kathy shared with us. God's way was to take the unfair, cruel values of the world and reverse them, to bring down the powerful from their thrones and instead lift up the lowly, to fill the hungry with good things and send the rich away empty. We know now that her son Jesus would do the same. He would become special not only to his parents, but to the world, someone whose example is still so difficult to follow and so needed and so transformative when people have the courage and the love to try to follow it. So, what is waiting to be born through you? The dancer and choreographer Martha Graham said, "There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and be lost." Sometimes when I'm reluctant to go to my art room and try to create something new, I remember those words and it gets me into that chair. Graham did not have any children, but she knew all about the quickening of new life within, the stirring of images and actions and ideas, and she knew how to patiently wait and work and labor to bring them into the world for all to see. So what is it that can come into the world, can become ripe, can be born like a peach swelling on a branch, if and only if you, the tree, will dig your roots deep to bring up water and open yourself to the light and allow yourself to bud and blossom and bring it forth. However ordinary you may think you are, just a person going along, minding your daily business the way Mary was, there is something that can take shape only if you allow it. You can block it, you can resist it, you can refuse to bloom and let the bud wither before it comes to fruition. Or you can try too hard to make it happen, when it has to grow in its own time, like a baby. Mary's a kind of Taoist sage. She doesn't strive, nor does she resist. She knows something is happening that is bigger than her, and yet that needs her in order to come about. Again, this is very ordinary. I mean, don't most pregnant people wonder how this amazing thing can be happening? How is a new life, a whole human being put together within their bodies? None of us knows how to construct a human being. Something beyond our comprehension makes it happen. And aren't so many of our most important plans and accomplishments realized by a mix of our efforts and our getting out of the way and letting that amazing, mysterious power move through us? For example, an artist makes himself a channel for inspiration. He doesn't know where it comes from, He practices, he hones his skills. He works hard like a woman in labor. And also, when an idea comes from who knows where in the middle of the night, he picks up his pen or brush and follows it. An athlete works and practices, gets up early, eats well, drills with discipline, but all in the interest of letting the inexplicable, unpredictable power use her body. She knows that feeling of being in the zone. When she does amazing things on the field or the court without even knowing how she does them. Even an activist, a person whose daily intent is to shape the world into something different, deliberately, on purpose, is a channel through which the longings of the world for peace and justice just flow. Let them come through and the world will change through us, and only partly because of us. Something is waiting to be born through you, and only through you. Part of your role is to pay attention and know what it is, and part of your role is to move aside enough to let it be born. I mean, imagine someone who is pregnant deciding to take matters into their own hands and make bones, a brain, a heart. They couldn't do it. They wouldn't know how. Life knows how to make new life. And so, if you're expecting a baby, you eat healthful foods, you get enough rest, you try not to take too many long journeys by donkey, and you await the birth of this miraculous unknown child. The child, as the famous words of Khalil Gibran remind us, of life itself. Another poet, Rainer Maria Rilke, wrote that even what we call God, if God is a word you use, might be something that is waiting to be born through us. He said, God is the one who is coming, who has been approaching from all eternity, the one who will someday arrive. The ultimate fruit of a tree whose leaves we are. Each person's life, Rilke said, can be lived as a painful and lovely day in the history of a great pregnancy. Something beautiful, unique, and holy can come to birth through you. Like Mary, may we each ponder what that might be. May we be humble enough, simple enough to let ourselves be the sacred channel through which something new and precious travels from dark non-being into the light of day. Let our hearts prepare a room. Let us give thanks for the mystery, and may we treasure it in our hearts.